wake up, this is what you gotta do. You gotta crush the day before it crushes you. Every day I'm here to motivate, lead the way in the AM. I don't want you to hear these words, I need you to feel what I'm saying. Oh, you gotta crush the day before it crushes you. You gotta crush the day before it crushes you. In the building, Jimmy Wilson, motivation's coming, I can feel it. First thing that you need to do is crush the day before it crushes you.
What's up, Day Crushers? It's your boy, Drewby. I am here and excited for another Day Crusher interview episode. So as you guys know, typically on the Crushing the Day podcast, it's a short, motivational, inspirational little snippet where I go back and I look at the morning quotes that I put out and I really deep dive on that subject. But today, and what I've really decided I want to bring more for y'all and my great supportive listeners is just some different perspective and some ways that people I know, my friends, are going out there and they're crushing the day. And so today's guest is someone I'm very, very honored and excited to have on. He's a man that I know is a great man. He's a great husband, a great father, and he is someone who truly cares about his community. And you know, he's Canadian, so they're a little extra nice, but he's someone who's truly going above and beyond to help not just himself and his family, but every family that he comes across. So I'd like to welcome my friend, Mr. Shane Urowitz. What's up, brother?
Thanks for having me, Drewby. All good. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And again, I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot of stuff going on. We were just chatting about, you know, your busy weekend plans since you're a Canadian dad and you got lots of things you got to run around and take your kids to doing. But man, I want to know your story. So the folks who are listening right now, I want you to understand Shane is someone who listens to the Crushing the Day podcast every single day. And if I've ever had an issue where I missed a day or something in the episode didn't sound right, he's my quality control. He's the guy who I wait to hit me up and say, hey, Drewby, this sounds like shit, or you missed a day, bro. What's going on? You're messing up my routine. So Shane, thank you for being here. But for the folks who don't know you, man, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Pleasure. So you said Drewby, I'm one of those nice Canadians. So I'll start by saying thank you for having me on your podcast. So a little about me, married, 3 beautiful boys, 7-year-old, 4-year-old, 2-year-old sons, Mason, Rory, and Tyler. My wife is Brittany. I live in Toronto in Canada. Sometimes people these days call it China, but we'll call it Canada for today. I run a business called CannaConnect. So what we do is we help Canadian military veterans feel better about themselves, feel better about their lives. And the channel that we do is actually through medical cannabis. So we have lounges across Canada, similar to like a Legion, where veterans can come and hang out. So we call it like a Legion 2.0. So instead of beer and cigarettes, nothing wrong with them, is cannabis, yoga, juice, coffee. We create this place, what we like to call, although it might sound cliche, is an emotional safety. It's an ecosystem of emotional safety for military veterans. So we have these all over Canada, predominantly where there's larger military bases, and we're opening up our 14th right now.
That is incredible. And what I really love about that in understanding the world that we come from, these military veterans, they go through some shit, man. They have some trauma in their lives or some things that they deal with in stepping up to serve and protect their countries and their communities. And so I really appreciate the idea of that holistic healing approach, looking for outside the box ways to approach these traumas and these situations, because ultimately these are people who went above and beyond for us. And now it's our turn to go above and beyond for them. And what I love about you, man, is you're really focused on the clean juices and all the outside the box ideas that most of, we'll call it Western medicine. I think I got that right. I don't know, man. I get those two confused, but you know, typically they just want to give you pills. They just want to give you the same old stuff that doesn't really fix or work to the root of the problem. It just puts a Band-Aid on it. And so I know watching your story and seeing your journey that you really do care about helping people get the life that they deserve. Everyone deserves to be happy, to feel better about themselves. And I've seen and watched how you've really gone in and made a point to step up and be a big part of your community and to help folks. What was it that sent you down that mission or put you on that path?
Yeah, so background about medical cannabis being federally legal in Canada. April 2014 is when it came into play where yourself, Drewby, me, we could walk into a doctor, get a prescription for cannabis, send it off to what we call licensed producer, what it's called in the States, a multi-state operator.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cannabis would be sent back home, directly to our houses. So I had come from a background of doing a few other businesses prior to this in and around the medical field, having relationship with physicians. And it was, the timing, understanding the opportunity in the market, and having some friends that were on the growing side of things with the licensed producers, identified that there were, like, you had just discussed, the men and women that served Canada, that there was an opportunity to help them where the government was paying for their cannabis. It's fully reimbursed by the federal government here. So with holding hands with friends that I had grown up with, getting familiar with some of the military community in Canada is where it took off. And keeping in mind that I myself have zero military background, other than my two partners. My only real connection to the military would be my entire family in Israel, which served in the IDF, or my wife, both her grandfathers served in the Canadian Armed Forces in World War II. So, quote unquote, three city boys from Toronto going out into small town Canada, telling our story and what we wanted to do. I mean, I share this all the time, and I'm looking at the screen right now, is military veterans are trained, servicemen and women are trained to look at their people's eye movement and body language. And if we were full of shit from day one, it probably wouldn't have taken off. And it was just meeting the right people, right time, showing what we're doing. And hey, we're here to make money helping people, but we're making money first. And we took it was like a boxing match for that, but we're just true to who we were. And like I mentioned earlier, we're in year 8 of business right now, and we're opening up our 14th location in a province called Nova Scotia.
A lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, they do fight that battle when they get into trying to help and to serve the community. You have to have money to make a difference. You have to have that tool, that resource, so that you can keep showing up and providing that value. And I love that you approach it as like, hey, we have to make the money, but it is about the helping people. And with the money that you made, you've clearly been reinvesting it back into growing how you can help more people. That's why I see and watch your journey and go, well, hey, anytime I can support this guy, I want to do that, because I know that everything you're doing is really just about how can you show up and provide the highest level of service and make sure that the people who are in need are getting what they deserve, and getting it in a way that allows them to be successful with it, right? As you said, you learn the system, the back end of, hey, if you are qualified for these rights, if you have access to this, we want to show you how to make it a reality. And we want to help take you down that journey so that we can essentially help you crush the day before it crushes you, right? That's the whole thing. We're just providing this opportunity. So for you in your life, Shane, what are some of the ways that you really try to make sure that you're crushing your day? I mean, like I said, you're a husband, a father, you're a big member and activist in your community. How do you get it all done?
You know what? A lot of it is routine and just struggling, but always finding myself getting to the accountability. Like, to your point, Drewby, like, I'm listening to Ryan Stewman's Rewire first thing in the morning. Then I'm listening to your podcast right after. And if I miss those two in the morning, my day's already off. So, starting off with those two, if I'm on the bike or I'm at the gym, it's just keeping routine, keeping a clear mind, trying to get to the gym every day, and then making myself identify. I'm at the office right now, like I'm sitting in my office right now, so I have to deal with, dealing in a community with military veterans, but it's not unique to us. It's anywhere where we have I think we have 40 or 45 employees right now, where you're dealing with personalities, you're dealing with people. It's not special to me. But what I'm getting at is having to put out fires and dealing with people's emotions and keeping the train on the tracks all day long. A big thing to continue to crush in the day is being able to do my best to close it off, go home, and be present for my wife, for my kids. Like I was mentioning earlier, make sure that the 15 minutes when I'm driving my kid to the hockey arena, because that's what we do in Canada. I remember as a kid, those 15 minutes add up over time, where I had life lessons and got to learn a lot and speak to my dad. And I could just easily be on the phone for work, which I struggle with from time to time, and definitely take calls when I shouldn't. But it's always just the accountability, structure, trying to keep myself moving forward.
I absolutely love that. And I want to touch on that point you made about that 15-minute drive. Time is our most valuable resource. I talked about it all the time on this podcast. So if you're listening, you've heard this 100 times, but time is your most valuable asset. And that 15-minute drive, that intentionality, that conversation that you're having, Shane, with your kids, man, that means so much to them. And I know, because to me, that's one of my non-negotiables, is taking Duder to school every day. It's an 11-minute drive from our driveway to the school drop-off zone. But we listen to 3 songs in our rotation on our playlist. We sing them out loud. We talk about our day, what we're going to do to crush it. And then we practice he has a poem that he does every week in his spelling words. And that's our routine every morning. We pull up, we jam out, we practice, we show gratitude. And when he hops out the truck, I give him a little fist bump. Hey, what are we going to do today? Crush the day. And he runs off and he's like, hey, he says hi to all his friends. Like, those moments, that's the stuff you can't get back. That's the stuff you can't buy. It means so much to those kids, because as they grow and they have that wisdom, like you said, that was passed down from you. You're passing that on to them, and they're going to pass that on to their kids when they have that moment. And being intentional about it and being focused in the way that you're like, hey, this is what we do. This is who we are. I think there's so much that people can take from that and look for those little moments in your life, because we are busy. We are entrepreneurs, and we're calling and taking care of opportunities and deals because we don't want to miss what could be knocking at the door, knowing that that opportunity could be what creates the next opportunity for our family. But I think at the same time, when you have those moments, taking the time to be grateful for them and recognizing that. And I think, Shane, you've really made that point, and you realize in yourself like how valuable that is. So I just wanted to touch on it, because to me, that's the little stuff that great dads are doing, that it doesn't take a lot, but it really means a lot.
Yeah, look, in a moment of vulnerability, Drew B, like I'm hearing you say it, and I said it before, I could always do a better job. So you asked me earlier about like, what does it look like for me to crush a day? Is like we're having this conversation right now. I'm going to be going home shortly for the weekend, and we'll be spending more time, or the few times in the car on the way to the hockey arena, particularly early tomorrow morning with one of my kids. Is now that we've had this conversation, is being that much more present or that much more clear, because we've touched upon this. It's easy to have the conversation and say, I turn my phone off, I look my kids in the eyes, but I'm honest. I don't. I do, but I could always be working towards more. So that's a big thing. I guess the context of our entire conversation is always striving to be better and be more. And moments like this really give that moment of like a slap in the face, aha moment where it's like, hey, we're chatting about this man to man, both have sons, both talk about being alone with our boys. And I also have a playlist for my kids. They have 2 playlists, depending if we're going to a hockey practice or game. They've made playlists where maybe I should be cranking it up and singing and being in the moment more, as opposed to just worrying about putting it on for them. So thank you for that.
And thank you for receiving that, man. Sometimes God has a funny way of dropping these messages, because to be honest with you, someone and I had that conversation the other day, and I realized that I've been guilty of, when we're pulling up to stoplights and stuff like that, I pull my phone out and check it instead of, that 30 seconds is not going to make a difference of checking my phone at the stoplight. I can just stay in the moment for that entire 12 minutes. And so sharing that with you was my way of reminding myself. And so I appreciate that you heard that and you received it, because whoever's listening to us now, maybe it's going to hit you too. Because those are the little ways that we're pushing to help each other get better. And Shane, that's why I was so excited to have you on here as one of my first guests for this interview series, because you and I hold each other accountable. As I mentioned, if something happens in this show, you hit me up and you're like, hey, bro, you're messing up my morning, man. I need you to get it together. What's up here? And so that's my call to go, oh, shoot, I let the ball drop and I wasn't sticking on and paying attention. And so it's just, I appreciate having someone like you in my life that will hold each other accountable and be willing to be vulnerable. And that's the beauty of what we've done, man. We're building these networks, we're building these relationships. And I appreciate that for you and I, it's not always just about business. We were talking earlier, it's like we could talk numbers and share all that, but why? That's not the stuff that lets us crush the day. What allows us to crush the day is being intentional, being vulnerable, and being willing to learn from the other folks around us. And Shane, I just want you to know, man, like you lead me as much as I lead you. And I'm super grateful for you, brother. It means the world.
Thanks, my man. Feelings are mutual in all sincerity. Feelings are mutual.
Thank you. Thank you. So one thing I want to do before we get out of here, because I don't want to keep you all day. I know you're busy. You got some things to do this weekend with the family. I'm funny enough, when I finish up my calls, me and the boy and the wife, we're going out to a playoff hockey game tonight for the Allen Americans. So we're going to go and celebrate with you in the hockey spirit. But if you could leave the listener today with one piece of advice, right? Like one thing that you could share with them to really help go and crush the day every single day, what might that piece of advice be?
Trust your gut.
Been
a thing of mine, 38 years old, where what really comes to me right away is what I found more than not was the right thing. So when we're going about our days and looking to crush them, if there's a decision that needs to be made in business with your family, from my experience, Drewby, the first thing that comes to mind in my gut is the decision to push forward with.
Ooh, that's received by me, sir. See, sometimes these messages, brother, they go back and forth. So trusting your gut is something that I need to do a better job of myself. And so I thank you for sharing that with me and for sharing that with the listeners, because that's definitely one of those things that our bodies know, our guts know. And sometimes when we ignore it, it sends us down a strange path. So Shane, thank you again for being here with me today, man. It's been an honor getting to be here and share some more of your story with my listeners, and to just have you as a part of my life, and to be a small part of your journey as well, as you step out and you help all these, men and women really find that inner peace to heal and to continue crushing their day. So I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. And that if you guys are listening, make sure you check this guy out. Go follow him, support the stuff that he's got going on, because they're always doing good in the community. And I, for one, will be right there to support there with you.
Thanks, Drew. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Shane. Is there any place they need to go to find you, or should they just hit you up on social media and tell you fist bump, good job?
Yeah, you check out our stuff on CannaConnect, my business, which don't hold your breath too long. We're coming to the States soon. On Instagram, it's CannaConnect, CannaConnect, and then my personal is SHANERU14, Shaner U14.
Awesome.
So that's the place to find me.
Well, I will make sure we put all that stuff in the show notes. We'll put the website in there. So if anybody wants to go and support, they can go and do that right there on the CannaConnect website. Shane, you and I will be seeing each other soon, my friend. I hope you have a great weekend. And for you guys, the listeners, make sure you're tuned in. Make sure you're sharing these episodes with people, because we want to help. We want to bring value. And hey, maybe you could be on here next. We'll see you guys later. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to go back and check out all the previous episodes. Make sure you subscribe and share this podcast with other like-minded, success-driven individuals who want to crush it. Check the show notes and grab your Crushing the Day swag over at crushingtheday.com. And remember, crush the day before it crushes you.
You gotta crush the day before it crushes you.